Hey, what's up, Karate Kid fans? So, holy crap, season 2 is finally here of Cobra Kai, and man, is it awesome. So, I just got done binging it, and I'm just blown away. I'm speechless. This has been an awesome second season. This is going to be my spoiler free review, so I'm just going to talk kind of about general things. So, if you haven't seen it, no worries. I'm not going to spoil anything in this review. These are just going to be my initial thoughts as I just got done watching it. So, I'm still kind of gathering things, but this won't be scripted. I do have some notes here in front of me, so I'm sure not to spoil anything for you. But yeah, let's just get right into it. And again, this is going to be my spoiler free review. So just off the bat, my overall thoughts, my initial impressions are that this has been an awesome second season, very solid. Kudos to the writers; they did an outstanding job once again, and especially following how well the first season went. I think they were tasked with a very tricky proposition to make a second, a good second season. So again, kudos to them. They did a tremendous job. So yeah, excellent season 2. Once again, 10 episodes. So they're right around, it's kind of like last season where they range from, like 25, 26 minutes all the way up to like close to 35 minutes. So, you're basically getting a 5 hour long movie. That's the way I look at it. Um, it's not perfect. I will say that as far as I'm concerned, there are some things that I do have some issues with, but and I'll get into that in my spoiler video that will be out shortly as well. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this season. I think it was absolutely excellent. And again, yeah, I think the writers had a very tough challenge for them to uh, do something that's at least in the same realm as season 1, because season 1 really set the bar high. I think a lot of people, myself included, were had mixed feelings about what to expect, and they just blew everything out of the water. So coming into season 2, my expectations were way up here, and truthfully, I'm such a Karate Kid nut that honestly, they could have thrown probably a half-ass season 2, and I still would have been happy. So just to be fair, but man, they really took season 1 and ramped everything up. So awesome job, really good writers, and clearly they're big fans. So yeah, the season isn't perfect, but as far as I'm concerned, but man, they did an awesome job. I will say that I was very happy that in this season they answer a lot of the questions that many of us had after season 1. So that was nice. They answered most of the questions that I had, and of course they leave us with more after this season. New questions, and that's the mark of a good writer. You want to leave the fans wanting more. So again, they did really well with that. Uh, and on that note, I got to say it, and with any other season where you're a big fan of it, it's you make predictions about what you think might happen based on the trailers and the teasers. And so it was a lot of fun once again to see if any of my predictions were correct, which ones were, if they were, and what surprised me. And there definitely were some surprises this season. And I I'm very happy about that. I like being surprised. I always tell my friends if I go into a movie or a TV show and all of my predictions happen, I'm disappointed. I want to be surprised. I don't want to be able to predict what's going to happen. So I was very happy about that. And yeah, definitely surprised at some of the directions they took this season. So I'll be very interested to hear what you guys think and what you have to say about that. I think they did a really good job of ramping things up as the season progressed. I really liked that about season 1. I remember thinking that by the time we got to like episode 8, 9, 10, like those last 3 episodes, that things were just really ramping up. It was getting very, very intense. And this season is very much like that as well. The second half is just absolutely jam packed, and definitely had me on the edge of my seat, even as far back as like episode 6. From there on out, I'm just super engaged. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoy seeing how they slowly build these characters, their arcs, and then you just get things going up and up and up and up until the big climax at the end, or climaxes, if you will. So very much like the first season in that regard. Let's talk a little bit about character development. I think was very, very good once again. It was very fun seeing a lot of the new character arcs move forward and evolve. And again, that's a sign of good writing. So it was fun to see the next stage for a lot of these characters. And speaking of characters, we obviously got some new characters this season. We got Kreese and Tori. Obviously from as you've seen through the teasers and trailers. And on that note, I have to say that of the new characters, Kreese was easily my favorite. I'm not really surprised there because I absolutely love that character. He's a villain you love to hate, but seeing him in a whole series and a whole season like this where they have time to develop him, I felt that him as a character just stole the show in every scene that he was in. Just it was just awesome to see Kreese on the screen again, and yeah, I think he just stole every scene that he was in. His character, I think, was really well written. It was really fun to see kind of his arc throughout the season. I can't go into much because I don't want to spoil anything, but he was very, very interesting, and that's something I'm super happy about. I was really hoping that they would write his character very well, and we wouldn't just see a black and white Crease. And so I'm very happy about that. I really enjoyed Dimitri. Actually, I think he was one of the stronger characters this season, and it was fun to see more of him. Um, he had a really good arc, I think, and it's just nice that he got more screen time. I think he deserved it, and so that was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that, and so I think it was good to see Dimitri again. I think he had a really good arc. The character Stingray was pretty funny. That's about all I can say about that character because I don't want to spoil anything, and it's tough to talk about any of these characters without spoiling anything. Um, as far as Tori goes, she was the big new female character this season, and I have mixed feelings about her, and I'm going to talk about her much more in my next video that has spoilers and that's about all I can really say because talking about her and is just going to spoil things too much. So I'll just say I have mixed feelings about that character, and we'll talk more about her in the next video. Um, let's see here. I'm just looking at my notes. So I think one of the strong points again this season is they did a good job of developing complex relationships, and by complex I just mean they're realistic, and that's how a lot of relationships are in real life. Um, Without getting into to details and spoilers, I'll just say that I think Daniel and Johnny, and then also Kreese and Johnny are prime examples of the really good complex relationships that the writers created, and I really enjoyed those dynamics among many others. In fact, I think a lot of the kids were really well done once again, and that's a big strong point I think for this season as well as the last season. But writing realistic relationships and just between these kids, these teenagers, and just they're very realistic, and that's important, especially this day and age. So I think that's again another testament to the writing. I can't really stop complimenting the writing because that's so important with the season. Um, I felt like a lot of the characters, most of them, got equal screen time and development, and that's something I was super happy with. I think that's something very difficult to do when you have so many characters and so many good stories and story arcs going on simultaneously. Again, that's something that you can't, or at least it's a very big challenge for a movie. So with a series like this, where you have 5 hours in a season, uh, I think that does much more justice to all these characters, and I think they did a really good job. Most of these characters uh, get a lot of development, and so that was a lot of fun to see, especially characters that we only got a taste of in season one. We get to see more of this season and get a little more of their story. Um, The fight scenes, I they ramped up this season like to 11. You know, they really turned it up. And I loved most of the fight scenes. Man, were they really well choreographed, and you believe these kids are really doing these fights. I mean, it is it's not the slow choreographed stuff that you've seen in the past. This is really really well done, and you believe these kids are really fighting. You believe the emotions behind it. Um, awesome choreography. There are a couple exceptions I'll talk about in my next video where I wasn't necessarily as engaged, or I thought maybe things were a little over the top. But that's getting into nitpicking, and I'll talk about that in my next video. But for the most part, the fighting is badass, and they've really ramped it up. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. If you've seen it, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Let's see, just some random notes. The sets are amazing. Miyagi-Do look terrific. I mean, you really believe that they're on the same set that they were for the original three movies. Things look great. They pay so much attention to the little details. It's awesome. I really liked how they treated and handled all the sets, especially the Miyagi-Do dojo and the house. You really believe it that's the same set. It's in fact, sometimes I have to remind myself that this is a recreation. So that's awesome. There's plenty of fun cameos. I really enjoyed the cameos we got to see from, just like last season where we got to see, like Randy Heller as Daniel's mom return. You get cameos like that again this season, and as a big fan of the movies, I just eat that stuff up. So that's a lot of fun. You get to see more of that this season. I think you'll enjoy it, but I can't say much without spoiling anything. Um, the use of music this season, I think, is even better than last season. It's just absolutely outstanding. Once again, you'll recognize many songs that reference the films, as well as the original movie score. They do use the original movie score again, and they do really really well with that. And aside from that, the original score that they made for Cobra Kai is really really good. I really enjoyed it, and so I think they did an awesome job of using um, just their use of music is great, and I think you'll really enjoy that. I was really eating that up. Lots of good songs, but then the score is also really good, and the mix, the balance between those two is done with great execution. Awesome, awesome. The show titles are great, and obviously you've probably already seen. As soon as even before you watch these, you'll probably read the show titles. But lots of references and little references to the films, to songs, to whatnot. But so just the show titles are fun to look at. You'll definitely recognize a lot of references there. The flashback footage. Again, just like the music, I think they did a better job this season of not overdoing it. I think where they use the flashbacks is appropriate, and it's conservatively done, which is all you need. You don't really need to bang the stuff in people's faces. I think most of us are already fans, and we get where the references are. But they did a really good job of using those flashbacks again, and that footage. So again, I think they've really refined that. And they're perfecting it. The flashback footage is really good. The music is really good. The editing in general is really, really, really well done. So that was fun. That was really good to see. In terms of a cliffhanger, now I can't say anything here without spoiling stuff, but all I'll say is that at the end of the season, they will leave you wanting season three. And I know that doesn't give anything away, but I don't want to give anything away. Uh, but by the time episode 10 rolls around and finishes, you're gonna be wanting season three. At least that's how I was. That's how I felt. I was just like, give me season three now. So there is that. I will say that. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, overall, I thoroughly enjoyed season two. It's not perfect by any means as far as I'm concerned, but let's just say if I was to rate season one as an A+, I would definitely give this one A minus, maybe a B plus, but probably an A minus. I'm super excited for season three. I'm I don't think they could have done much of a better job for season 2. It's just it blows my mind at how well done this series has been so far. Both these seasons are just outstanding, and man, what a fan service to all of us. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. Again, my next video is going to contain, it's going to be spoiler filled, so be sure you watch the series or the season before seeing that video. If you haven't seen it, go out there and watch it right now. I'll be really excited to hear what you guys have to say, what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching this. Hopefully I didn't him and ha and babble too much, but thanks for sticking it out. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, thanks for watching.